fantastic.
Console community has been begging Ubisoft for some kind of answer to the Zim situation. And I know the mousetrap was a huge announcement that a lot of console players were waiting for.
The most groundbreaking thing added to Siege for me was Ranked 2.0.
I'm really excited for the changes for the shields. I feel like it's been a long time coming.
I love things like the shooting range, being able to change attachments, switch seamlessly between weapons and operators. It's an amazing change.
The newest season has just been released, and a whole lot more is on the way. So there's a lot of Siege to be excited for. Why not go watch a game in action and see for yourself?
All right, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to the Ubisoft Forward. I'm hoping that they have quite a bit to show. They got some things that we've been waiting to hear on for quite a while. Probably most notably for me is Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. Very much looking forward to that. Apparently that Star Wars game that we saw, from what I remember, Star Wars something, it's supposed to be a Ubisoft game, so we should be seeing more about that as well, which will be quite exciting. And hopefully maybe a surprise in there. That'd be great. I think, gosh, Splinter Cell remake. So if they could show me like Avatar and the Splinter Cell remake, then I'd be pretty happy. At least an update on the Splinter Cell remake. I don't expect that it's going to be releasing anytime soon. Like even next year, I'd expect it's probably a 2025 or 2026 title. But I might be wrong. Maybe they've been making huge progress. I don't know.
Everybody's gonna look up to us like, oh, a new dynasty, you know, like the forbidden word.
So we'll have to just see what goes on.
We just have to prove to everyone else. My dream is to win like two big tournaments in a row. To win is the most important thing. If we lose this game or win this game, like, it's my fault, you know.
It's always amazing to me to see Rainbow Six Siege, you know, be this competitive thing, just because when the game launched, first of all, it wasn't the Rainbow Six game that people really wanted to begin with, but when it launched, it was quite horrible. So it's always just incredible for me to see, you know, that game just be massively competitive. It's just surprising, especially because it's almost 10 years old, right? Wasn't it 2014 or 2015? Might have been 2015. Still though, it's a long time. We actually might get another Rainbow Six game that's not the Extraction BS that they launched that died so quickly.
Is the name of our teaching studio. We've been teaching this for a number of years now, working with students to promote the use of game engine technology as an architectural method for design.
We've been gamers since we were young, and I think that really informed, in some way, our decision to become architects, because we've always been really interested by spaces. So
this is pretty
approached
interesting.
us to reinterpret one of their games in any way we'd like to.
They're
We were
using
interested in how Unity opens up the city in a new way, rather than just experiencing things from the street, being able to really kind of navigate across the buildings, the rooftops, the facade, interacting with architecture in a different way.
As architects,
It's an
we're
interesting
trained to see
concept, using
buildings
game
in a
engines and
particular
older
way,
games like
but a
this
game
to
like Assassin's Creed Unity lets us break
do
that
architecture.
and see the city in a new light.
So when we were researching the game, we found it really interesting to read some of the interviews and some of the material from the developers as to how they approach the design of the architecture, and hearing that, you know, you're facing real virtual problems we also face as architects sometimes was a really interesting insight. We thought it would be really interesting to explore video game architecture using an architectural methodology such as a scaled model.
So we go from the riverside to the old kind of medieval areas of the city where the buildings are much smaller and irregular, through to the larger kind
Man,
of
Unity still looks
boulevards.
good.
And we're standing here today in
This,
the
to me,
Commerce, which
Probably
is
the
obviously
best looking
the
Assassin's
highlight
Creed
of the model.
title of the last gen. I mean, like, yeah, The
We
open
picked
world,
Yellow Blade
the more
because we think it was a
RPG-centric
really good
ones
example
look
of a
very
building
good,
that's
but
use has changed maybe quite a lot
Unity for a
from
long
the
time,
game,
and still to this
to the
day,
present
even,
day,
just
even
looks
to the fact that
fantastic.
it's got a new insertion in it from an architect that we really loved, and it was a really interesting building to look at.
I still catch some of those videos from time to time where
Really
people
like
just
the way
parkour
that
across,
games are
and
totally
it's
kind
like
of
beautiful
user-centric
visuals and mods and all that
spaces, which is
stuff.
definitely
Like,
something architecture can learn from.
it's quite interesting. It's got a I think a longer lifespan than most other Assassin's Creed games.
What's up, everyone? We're playing the X-Defiant beta. Thank you to Ubisoft for sponsoring this video.
Hey, what's going on, Hamster? How are you? Happy Monday. I am fortunate in that Monday today is not busy for me, so I can actually sit down and stream this. I was a bit worried that my morning was going to be kind of jam-packed, but it wasn't.
Far Cry 6.
So,
and how I feel after playing
good opportunity to start the stream and do this uninterrupted. Hey Beyond, how's it going? Yeah, Unity had that co-op feature. I remember that. I never played it, but wasn't it like one of the very few, if the only, Assassin's Creed games that offered like full cooperative or story-based gameplay? Because the other ones, they had separate multiplayer modes. The multiplayer was really fun, in like Assassin's Creed Brotherhood in particular. And, you know, Revelations kind of adopted the same formula, but those older Assassin's Creed titles with the multiplayer were a lot of fun. I had a great time playing those. I did a lot of videos on Brotherhood back in the day, if you recall. You already played the closed alpha of the Crew Motorfest under NDA a few months back. It's surprisingly polished for such an early build. Well, that's good to hear. It's always been a big turnoff for me, the Crew, just because of its more multiplayer-centric features. And the first game, to me, was just like, it was just one of those games that felt to me like it was made because we can, you know? It's like the whole United States being the map, but the cars didn't handle well. It had like this really bizarre, very serious story. It was just interesting. So I didn't really get into it. Then I played the Crew 2 at E3, and I was like, wait, why does this take place in the same United States again? Except you have boats and all this other stuff now. I just felt like they could have done more creatively with a sequel there. Did anyone play this game, by the way? Watch Dogs Legion? Besides me? Because this was a launch title for new gen, and is this an ad for? Oh, that's bizarre. That's bizarre. Turned out to be Project Orlando. Is just the name of the project because it's not in Ibiza Island.
Still learning about mentality.
I played
you gotta work on
Watch
yourself.
Dogs
You gotta
Legion.
be better about it.
Okay, at least I wasn't the only one. So I know that the Crew devs, and I have a lot of respect for them, because a lot of the people who do the Crew also made the incredible Test Drive Unlimited games, which coincidentally is also coming back as well. And out of all the racing games I played, Test Drive Unlimited is my favorite franchise. Even more so, like Forza Horizon is definitely somewhat inspired by it, but it's more about the large events. Test Drive Unlimited was more about the lifestyle. and I'm planning to have a reminiscing video of the first game uploaded later this month, because I played it again, and it's still like a refreshing take on the driving formula, even after all these years later, because no one does it. You know, no one freaking does it. So, I absolutely have a lot of respect for those devs over at the crew. It's just that I don't think the game plays is as interesting as Test Drive Unlimited. You know, it's like large in scale, and it feels like there's little substance there. You know, at least from what I played, the little bit that I played.
I knew I'd been training for the splits for a reason.
Your dyslexia goes crazy today.
So excited.
It is in Ibiza, not USA. Okay.
I'm amazed. I'm so excited.
Which is also the location of TDU2, Test Drive Unlimited 2. It took place on Ibiza, and then you could also go back to Hawaii. So that's interesting. They kind of went full circle there. I am wondering if because the next Test Drive Unlimited that's being made by a different studio, which also had veterans from the first game, is going to be China, Hong Kong Island, they're calling it. Why are they showing glitches of their high-profile games? That's bizarre. Anyway, I'm wondering if they have a little bit of a surprise, because it's taking a long time, Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. I'm almost curious if the reason it's been taking a long time is because they're also building Ibiza and Hawaii in addition to Hong Kong. And that's going to be insane. If that's the case, where you can travel between all the different cities, like, oh my god. It might be a little bit too big. It would be fun to go back into one of those, you know, places and see with the new graphics and stuff that they built. But those games were just a lot of fun, and I miss them so much. There's a whole generation of gamers who completely missed out on those games, and
let's go.
I just had a lot of fun playing them. Just the lifestyle element of it, the fast cars and all that stuff. Good fun. Are they still advertising Just Dance? I'm actually curious. I want to look up really quick. When was the last time? When did they officially stop supporting 7th gen? Because you could always get like these games on the old generation of systems for like many years after they've been released. Was it 2017? Nope. Wow, you can get Just Dance 2019 on PlayStation 3. Like, they still released a PS3 version. It looks like that was the last year. Just Dance 2019 was the last year it was released for 7th gen systems. That's insane. Oh god, I remember these presentations. Yep. Hey Wayne, how's it going? I am very hopeful that we're going to see some really cool stuff. As I said, I want Avatar, which we're probably going to get. The Splinter Cell remake, which would be awesome to see. If they can give me 2 of those, then I'll be happy. And maybe a surprise in there. We'll see what they have. Yeah, I remember going to these in person, and they'd always have some type of dance-off, you know, event, something like that. So this is pretty typical Ubisoft. And everyone's sitting in the crowd like the whole time. Like, yeah, can we just get over this? I'm pretty sure this audience is not buying the Just Dance games. Ugh. So this is actually a good opportunity. Audio levels are good. I didn't change it from yesterday. So if you're happy with yesterday's audio levels, it should be the exact same. But let me know if I need to decrease or increase anything. And I'm probably going to get a copyright claim on this stream. None of these live streams are, you know, monetized at all because of all the music and stuff like that. So, not that you make much anyway, but I feel bad for the streamers who do have YouTube as their full-time job. Like, it's hard covering stuff like this. That's crazy. They release that every single year. Why not just make these games a live service game? Like, just release Just Dance 20, you know? And it's like, it's good for like the entire decade and it's just a live service game. They should do that with sports, and they should do that with these types of games. I don't think people would mind. But they wouldn't be able to sell it to you for $60 every single year, so that's probably why. Massive, huh? Oh, starting off with Avatar. Okay. Let's see how this is. Looks very good.
The RDA's greed poisoned our world.
Secure the perimeter. All threats must be eliminated.
They took everything from us. From me. I was trained in their ways, their technology, their weapons. Things that a Navi should not know. And then one day, they left.
Hell's Gate is under attack. Evacuate now. Kill all the Navi children.
But before they did, our teacher saved us and put us to sleep.
This is your only chance to survive.
And there I remained for 15 years. Until one day, I awoke. And I was free.
Yeah, if they nail this, this is going to be very, very good.
Free to decide who I was going to be.
Nice.
Free to discover what I was meant to do.
Now you see what they kept you from. Your true home.
Now Pandora is under attack again.
I thought it was over.
Don't let the Navi get in our way. Get rid of them.
And I have a choice to make. I choose to protect my
I choose war. It looks to me like a much more acrobatic version of Far Cry, which is fine.
I was a child of two worlds. I am no longer. I am Navi.
The draw is going to be being a part of this world, obviously, and having like free range to explore Pandora. Looks very good. I'm very happy with that.
Hi there, everyone. I'm Jim Cameron, the creator of Avatar and Avatar: The Way of Water. In developing both of these films, I set out to imagine another world, a world as rich and complex as our
What do you
own.
guys think?
And we wanted the audience to feel as though they were really on Pandora, to dream with their eyes wide open, and to explore this world with our characters. And it's always been our vision to embrace technology.
Oh, you're playing
to
Callisto,
allow us
Wayne?
to find new ways outside the cinema to immerse people in this world.
I very
Our
much enjoyed
friends
it. I
at
thought it was
Ubisoft
awesome.
Share the same ambition.
Once you get
The
used to the
team at
combat and the
NASA
way it feels.
have been
Yeah.
pushing the boundaries of what's possible in games to bring a new corner of Pandora to life. So with Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, our creative team at Lightstorm has been able to share their insights with Massive's talented team, who are experts in creating living, open worlds. Together, we'll be able to bring players to the western frontier with new environments, new flora and fauna, new characters, and an original story that coexists with the events of the Avatar films. We can't wait for you to join this adventure, and we look forward to welcoming you back to the world of Avatar once again.
He's much more tame when he's reading a
We
script.
can't wait for you to join.
Oh, what's
this
happening
adventure,
here? What?
And we look forward to welcoming you back to the world of Avatar once again.
I think they had an oopsie, the Ubisoft stream. So I assume that's the front cover. They didn't give a release date at all, so I'm thinking maybe the end of next year. Probably not soon.
My name is
Oh, it's Phil.
and as the game director, I'm proud to be representing the team behind Avatar Frontiers of Pandora today, and excited to share a sneak peek of what we've been working on. In this all-new story, you'll set out on a journey of discovery to unravel the mysteries of your past, learn what it means to be Na'vi, and explore new parts of Pandora on land or together with your trusted Banshee in the air. Our ambition is to create a playground where curiosity is rewarded. This tangible and highly immersive first-person experience will allow you to closely connect to a beautiful open world, touch and interact with it, using your size, your superhuman strength, and your natural agility to gain the upper hand.
Massive is making both Avatar and Star Wars. It's a massive team. Literally.
Until then,
oh, they're saying it launches this year? Whoa, I was not expecting that. That's very soon. Wow, this year they're going to launch it. That's pretty... I'm pretty surprised. I hope it doesn't get delayed. Is this going to be gameplay? Just full-on gameplay? Just like when Ubisoft Toronto made Watch Dogs Legion and Far Cry 6 back-to-back, yeah. That's probably why their studios... I hear the turnover rate at Ubisoft is so high. Like, people don't stick around.
Game director, and I'm excited to reveal what's waiting for you on Pandora. The story of our game begins.
I'm hoping that this has enough different things in it to make it not just Far Cry and Pandora.
One of the leaders of the RDA.
You know, because that will be... That would be one of the, probably, I think one of the major turnoffs for people, is if Ubisoft games kind of always play like each other, you know, they have the same gameplay elements, so it needs to have its own unique identity. It needs to feel different, you know? Maybe more guerrilla-style warfare than something like Far Cry, where you can just go in and jump around everywhere and start killing everyone.
Knowing the dangers posed by the RDA, you set out to take them down and look to secure the help of other Na'vi clans. Initially, you're perceived as an outsider, so you have to reconnect with your lost Na'vi heritage to gain their trust. On your adventure, you'll find your own path as you discover what it means to be Na'vi. You'll explore new regions of Pandora, each with their own unique biomes. The Kinglor Forest is a lush...
It does look really beautiful, though.
...and dense vegetation, in the shade of awe-inspiring floating mountains. This is the home of the Aranahe, a clan of peaceful weavers who will guide you on your first hunt and on your first flight.
My question is, do you create your own character, or are you playing as someone specific?
Bond for life with your very own Ikram. The Ikram
Is Xbox Game Pass worth it or not? For myself, Wayne, it's not. Just because I like my physical copies. I think if you don't care about physical or digital, absolutely, it's a great service. And you get a lot. But I want the physical disc anyway, even if the game's not on the disc itself. I just like having the tangible thing in my hands. So yeah, to me it's not worth it. I don't care how cheap it is. It's just, I'll spend whatever I have to. It'll be interesting if they don't have a character creator with this, because I was under the impression that you would create your own character and kind of go on about it. But if they're going to have a character-driven story, it actually might be better for the narrative. So it'll be interesting. I wonder what they're going to do here. And if it is character driven, it might be connected to the later films. James Cameron might throw it in there. I don't know.
All sizes to exploit resources at any cost, spreading devastating pollution. In the process, animals are hurt and poached. You'll need to stop the RDA from ravaging your home. And when you are ready, you will take the fight to them. As a child of two worlds, you can learn to master multiple combat styles.
Very cool.
Powerful instincts allow you to get an overview of the battlefield, mark your enemies, and identify weak points. Traditional Navi weapons are versatile and precise. You can use the longbow to hit long-range targets, or the staff sling to set up traps. For a more explosive approach, you can leverage your human...
The gunplay looks great. Look at that.
Assault rifle,
Gunplay looks awesome.
or go bigger with the occasional rocket launcher. On foot, you can also rely on your incredible strength to take down amp units. Above the clouds, your Ikran will help you in aerial combat against the RDA. Destroying RDA facilities will have a tangible impact on your world. With the pollution removed, Pandora heals. You will be able to harvest the best quality material again, and craft better gear and weapons. You will also find ingredients to cook, and make meals to get stronger. As you keep discovering what it truly means to become Navi, you'll improve your skills by connecting to Awa through the Tarshu plant, and learn from the memories of your ancestors. Skill upgrades can improve many aspects of your character, such as your natural agility to move through the world, your stealth approach when hunting or fighting, or the handling of your weapons and mounts. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora is a captivating action-adventure game designed to maximize the power of new-gen consoles and PC. You will be able to play the full story campaign in single-player, or with a friend online in two-player.
Wow, there's full two-player co-op for the story.
I invite you to explore this world of wonder.
That's pretty insane.
Become Navi.
Huh.
And take down the RDA to protect Pandora.
You're pre-ordering Spider-Man 2 on PS5? Is there a collector's edition for that? Just curious. I don't think I remember hearing anything about it. Yeah, this looks good. I just hope that the actual core gameplay is it feels different in the way that you approach combat, the way that you approach almost everything compared to just what it looks like, which is Far Cry in Pandora. Not saying it won't be fun if it is Far Cry in Pandora, but the thing with Ubisoft is that all their games seemingly don't have their own identity. They're all just mixes and mashes of all of their franchises into one, you know? That's always been the main criticism with Ubisoft. So I'm just hoping that there's something there that's just enough, more so than just the world, right? Something there in the way that it feels that makes it its own unique thing. But it looks very good, and I'm actually surprised it's coming out this year. That's going to be crazy. What is this? This looks like Call of Duty. I have no idea what I'm seeing right now. It's X Defiant. It looks straight up. It was announced last year? Oh. It looks straight up like Call of Duty. Is that what it is? It's Ubisoft's Call of Duty?
Hello, everyone. Hello. My name is Mark Rubin, executive producer on X Defiant. What you just saw was a collection of live clips and reactions from players streaming our
He
game
used to
during
work on
our
Call of
test in
Duty.
April. And we've been
Didn't he?
absolutely overwhelmed
Isn't he
by
the guy who said the fish swim out of the way
all over the world.
in Call of Duty Ghosts? I gotta look that up.
has really been the core of this game's development.
What, Mark Rubin is his
We've had
name?
28 public tests so far, release and closed beta being the largest, and of course,
It is him. It's him. The dude that's like, yeah, the fish move out of the way for the then new generation of consoles. That's hilarious.
So much to the more than 1.5 million players.
The fish AI guy. He will never live that down.
Who shared their footage and feedback about X-Defiant.
So he left Activision to join Ubisoft, and he's making basically the same game.
We are currently planning on launching later this summer. But before we do that, we will be holding another test to address some of the feedback from the closed beta. This open session will be available to everyone on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series.
An open beta.
June 21st to June 23rd. This is a short test, but we are opening it to everyone to get as much feedback as possible.
I assume it's multiplayer only, so it's an immediate turnoff for me. I might still try it though, the open beta, but it just looks like a fast version of Call of Duty. Well, Call of Duty's already fast, but
let's talk about what's going to happen when we launch later this summer. We will start with a 6-week preseason that will have all of our launch content with 14 maps, 5 factions, 24 weapons, much more. We then move into our year 1 content schedule, which is packed with some really exciting content, with 4 brand new meta-changing factions, each with unique characters and skills, 12 new weapons, and 12 new maps.
It was initially supposed to be a Tom Clancy game, basically Tom Clancy's X-Defiant, and they stylized the XD. Wow. Oh, I see. Your XD came up as an emoji, so I didn't realize, but yeah. So it's its own thing. I don't even think, I mean, Ubisoft doesn't really, they just have free control to do whatever they want with the games of Tom Clancy. I don't even think they need to get approval from anyone. So yeah, they could basically just do whatever they want. Yeah, so Starfield's in September, Wayne. I'm looking forward to that, based off of the presentation that we saw. You know, I'm just hoping that I'm hoping that they don't do what they did with Fallout 4 and like put all this emphasis into like the building of like, you know, your town and your ship and like all this stuff. I just hope that you can kind of ignore that stuff, and that the storytelling is there. Based off of the presentation and stuff, it looks very good, very expansive, but I just hope there's a core reason why it needs to be that large. Won't find out until we actually get the game in our hands, but it does look very good. People clowned on that so hard that Ubisoft changed it. Oh, so they just got embarrassed. Okay. Their feelings got hurt a little bit, and they decided to remarket it. That's interesting. Oh, there is a collector's edition, but it's only on the PlayStation Direct site. Now the problem with that, is there even a guarantee they're going to ship it to you on release day? I imagine also the problem with that is that if they keep it at PlayStation Store Direct exclusive, they'll just be able to control the price. It'll never go down. Is this the new Prince of Persia game that we saw? The kind of like a side scroller. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Okay. Next year. Yeah, people are still waiting for the Sands of Time remake.
Hi everyone. It's so exciting to be with you today.
Yeah, I played the beta for Skull and Bones. I didn't care for it. It's like a very realistic version of Sea of Thieves. And it didn't handle that well or look that well. I mean, it looked okay, you know, but it was an early beta. I was not impressed with it though. It's not a game for me, you know. if you have like a group of people to play with and you like to plunder and explore stuff, then you'll probably enjoy it, but it's not for me.
In an era where the laws of mortals were ruled by the laws of gods. You are Saga, the fearless sword body.
By the way, I thought subtitles were on. I apologize.
7 elite warriors, the immortals. One night, Prince Hassan, sole heir to the throne, is abducted and taken to her hostile and cursed land, Mount Kaf. You and your brothers in arms are sent on a rescue mission to save Prince Hassan. However, this assignment will cast you straight into the Lion's Den. And it is here that you, Sargon, and the whole kingdom must prepare to face the greatest threat of your lives. This is your story. In Mount Kaf, your destiny awaits.
It's a shame a lot of these franchises that Ubisoft has are just been dormant, and I think it's because they don't know how to like make massive franchises, or I should say like a whole series out of them. And Ubisoft said themselves, yeah, we're not interested in any games that we can't like continuously build sequels off of. They didn't say those exact words, but they were paraphrasing.
The past coexists with the future.
And it's just like, you know, some people just want to have fun with these one-off games.
Exploration is everything.
And it's sad that
semi-open world that delivers new secrets.
They don't really, you know, support those anymore.
But to reach new areas, you have to master your skills and your sense of timing. A trademark of Prince of Persia. During this epic journey, you won't be the only one trapped in Mount Kaf.
Goddess and blacksmith to the gods.
Some dwellers are willing to help you.
This looks like a side-scrolling God of War game, like an old-school God of War game. It's kind of what it reminds me of, like God of War if it was just a side-scroller.
But Sargon is a swordsman like no other. He is a fierce warrior, known for being elusive, ruthless, and extremely skillful on the battlefield. Fueled by anger, he constantly puts his life on the line to perform devastating attacks. Time powers are back. But this
yeah,
time,
you could reverse time.
What the hell was that?
Not only in your hands. To face such a challenge, master a new side of these time powers. And defy gravity.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll play this. It looks good, though. It would depend on what's coming out around that time. If there's like nothing coming out in January, I might give it a shot, but I'm kind of lukewarm on it.
And execute brutal combos in epic combats.
This to me feels somewhat like a filler in title because they know people want Sands of Time remake and they want a return to Prince of Persia. So something like this speaks to me that they're kind of testing the waters to see how this game does in this sort of market today, how people react to it. So maybe it could spark more Prince of Persia games.
I'd like to thank Matrix, who composed the in-game music you are just listening to, and of course my fantastic team at Ubisoft Montpellier.
So we'll see how that turns out.
To get your hands on the game. It releases on January 18, 2024 on all platforms. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the show.
Just realize it's still a cross-gen game, even though it's a side-scroller. It's still a cross-gen game. Even in 2024, we have not gone away from cross-gen. Oh, this is Blood Dragon music.
Hi. My name is Adi Shankar. I'm a TV and movie producer. You may know me from the Castlevania animated series on Netflix.
Oh, I watched that. That was awesome.
Or one of my fan fiction shorts on YouTube. 7 years ago, I got a call from Ubisoft offering me the opportunity to adapt one of their very, very, very serious franchises into an anime. But instead, I came back to them with a crazy concept inspired by the mood of Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Yeah. This concept used Ubisoft's vast library of characters and remixed them into one delirious anime series that would become
They're gonna make an anime? Seriously?
love letter to the 90s.
Like a brand new anime, but inspired from that
To my
world?
absolute surprise, Ubisoft said no.
That is funny.
Just kidding. They said yes. That's why I'm up here. Come on. This is the story of how the first anime series by Ubisoft was born. Captain Laserhawk, a Blood Dragon remix. This show is many things. It's violent. It's a dystopian fiction in the spirit of the works of Aldous Huxley. It's a spoof. It's a satire. It's dark comedy.
Well, if he did the Castlevania series, then it's probably going to be very good.
I can tell you it's the most philosophically conscious
Castlevania was fucking amazing.
show you've watched in a long time. The series was picked up by Netflix. It was animated by the renegade genius pirates at Bobby Pill's studio. And today, I'm very happy to announce that barring an apocalypse, which may happen, it will be released worldwide later this year.
Okay. Can we see it?
And that's not all. I'm even more excited to share with you an action-packed, Easter egg-filled teaser trailer right now.
This guy's very full of himself. Alright, an anime in the Blood Dragon universe.
Don't change the channel. Join the revolution.
Assassin's Creed. Okay. It looks absolutely ridiculous. I'd give it a shot. I'd watch an episode or two, see how it goes. If anything, just for the music. The Division. Are they making a third game? Or are they just gonna do something like? Is this the multiplayer centric one? Because they're doing one that was just competitive, I believe. Resurgency is the mobile game. Yeah, I remember that they were doing something. Is it like a competitive multiplayer game only, or is it like a full-on division game? Because I remember hearing about something like that. I wasn't sure if these are connected. I made a promise to myself after playing all these types of games last generation: Destiny, The Division, Anthem. There's a couple other ones as well. After playing all of them, I said, yeah, I'm not playing any of these. The only one that I actually really enjoyed, and it was because the gameplay was so good, like the way it felt was so good, was The Division 2. I was actually very impressed and happy with The Division 2. The storytelling, you know, was like non-existent, but the way that game played was fantastic. And it was the only one of these MMO type, you know, squad-based shooters that I actually really enjoyed. But I made a promise to myself after last generation playing all of them. I was like, yeah, these games aren't for me. They're never going to be for me. They're not story-centric. They don't care about story telling. It's about getting you to play as long as possible, and it's all loot-driven. So I told myself, yeah, I wouldn't be doing that. Although, first of all, I know I don't play mobile games at all, but this is very impressive. You're getting like PS4 quality visuals on your phone. I'm always impressed by what phones can do in terms of the visual aesthetic, because a lot of these games actually translate very well, and it looks like you're playing a AAA game, literally powered by your phone. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm not touching those games anymore. I made a promise to myself. It's Leonardo DiCaprio. So like I said, I played the beta for this, and was not impressed personally. Did not care for it, but it's also because it's another one of these kind of squad-based MMO games. You're still playing Destiny 2 with the DLC campaigns. The Division, I'm having heavy ludonarrative dissonance because of the heavy bullet sponge stuff. Yeah. I know a lot of people play Destiny 2. I just played the campaign of Destiny and then that's it. Yeah, it's like, for me, it's like I'm always on to like the next thing. Like right now I'm juggling, well, I'm not juggling anything, but I'm waiting actually for Star Wars to be fixed. I'll try Redfall. I'll give it a shot, you know, even though it's probably not going to be something I'm really going to enjoy that much. And then right now I'm actually playing GTA Vice City, the Definitive Edition, sort of as a downtime thing before these other games get fixed. And Street Fighter 6 as well. I beat the World Tour mode of that, which apparently only 3% of people actually beat. I looked at the trophy list, and it's like, oh yeah, 3.4%, I believe the number was, of people beat the World Tour mode. And it takes like 20 hours to do that, like 20-25 hours, so it's pretty insane. What's going on, London? Thoughts on Starfield? Yeah, it looks good. I'm just hoping that a lot of the stuff that they showed in terms of building out your ship, you know, doing all of the kind of crafting and all that stuff, I hope a lot of that is optional, and you're not forced into that. That's one of the things that for me was kind of a turn off for Fallout 4. Fallout 4 was actually a good game when it came to the gameplay of it, but it just overemphasized the crafting and the building of stuff, and Todd Howard was like, oh yeah, all this is entirely optional, and then there are like actual missions where you have to, you know, waste your time gathering resources, building this, and making people happy. I mean, the fucking Preston stuff that just never ended was just frustrating. So I'm hoping that the game has less of that, and it's more about just exploring planets, shooting some crazy ass monsters, you know, being sort of like a almost like a monster hunter or bounty hunter or something like that. That would be really cool. I also hope the game is actually optimized and runs well. They just announced that it's going to be 30 FPS only. I don't care about that, but it's funny to me because I better see people have the same energy as people were blaming, you know, all these games that didn't have 60 FPS modes. People were flipping out, like on Twitter, and it's all, you know, it's all just people just making a big stink about it, right? Because in truth, no one actually buys a game for the performance that it runs at, you know. statistically, most people do not actually. Most of the successful games that are out there are not 60 FPS titles, you know. But it's just funny to see like all the uproar and stuff that is caused on Twitter because it's not 60 FPS. So I just hope it at least runs well. I get that you hated that too, but you don't. But if you don't play the Minuteman quest, you can pretty much avoid it. The DLCs, though, for Fallout 4 actually forced it upon you, and there were a couple moments in the Fallout campaign where you actually had to do it. Getting into the whatchamacallit. You know, I'm blanking out on it. What's the name of the robot division in Fallout? The Institute. There it is. Getting into like the Institute, you had to craft like that teleporter and stuff like that. It's like little things like that, you know, that to me just like it's padding. That's all it is. It's just padding. So yeah, the Preston stuff is infinite. Is this, by the way, the Crew Motorfest that all you guys are making a big deal about? Yeah, I'm sure it'll be, yeah, no, on PC it's gonna, you know, it'll just run at whatever frame rate you want, it'll run at whatever resolution you want, which is fine. PC gaming these days has been, like, really bad lately. All the games that are coming out been terribly optimized. You know, Digital Foundry is, like, having, like, they're just having a field day with all these games that are coming out and not running well. So, I mean, it's one of those things where it's, like, Bethesda doesn't really have the best track record, let's just be honest, but I'm just hoping that because Microsoft's involved now, that it's gonna have, and because of the launch of Redfall especially, that Microsoft knows this needs to launch, it needs to run perfectly, it needs to have like a minimum to no bugs, and I'm hopeful this will be the most polished Bethesda game to date. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how it turns out. Yeah, I didn't care for, like, all the press and stuff, like, I avoided it too. But, like I said, I played the entire game again from start to finish, including the DLCs, somewhat recently. And those DLCs were terrible. Especially compared to Fallout 3, which had incredible DLCs. But they really forced it into the DLCs. It was really frustrating.
5 years ago, Recruit 2 took off. Now, each month, millions of thrill seekers, just like you, are enjoying, playing, eager to see what's next. I am Stefan Baudet, creative director.
He looks like he's not sure about what he's talking about. Stunning detail. Eager to play what's next.
At last, it is my pleasure
I guess.
to introduce the future of the crew. Motorfest, our all new take on the action-driving genre.
So this is this a new game, or is this just a big expansion?
An experience.
Is this like the Crew 3 without the 3?
On the beautiful island of Oahu. In Hawaii. No matter how you enjoy cars,
I nuked Preston.
on your own, or with your crew.
That's funny.
Has something for
You still gave me a quest.
Motorfest.
That's hilarious.
Your portal to a medley of high-octane experiences. You choose how you like.
Do I still play Mirror's Edge? Remember your news vids? Yeah, I hop in from time to time. The last video I did was well, the last vlog I did was EA almost killing it off by delisting it. Thank God they changed their minds. I think the last major video I did on it was the mod that one of the guys did, like an expansion where you get to explore a previously unexplorable part of the city in Mirror's Edge Catalyst. It's got a lot of attention and it's great. That guy got a lot of attention from it, so I'm really just hoping he's going to keep building on it, and eventually you're going to have like new districts and new places within the world that you can go to. It's pretty awesome that, you know, the modding community can do that, and that guy's super talented. He's like a teenager too, which is nuts.
Unleash the cutting-edge power of electric supercars.
That's a Lotus?
And this is just a taste. For the first time ever, we leave the US mainland behind. Our festival has landed in one of the most breathtaking and vibrant places on Earth, Oahu. Let's find out why Oahu
Hawaii is still
is
part
the
of
perfect
the
playground
United States.
for driving fun.
You know.
Race through the city street of Honolulu. Powered up. Black ash covered slopes.
It's a good location for a driving game, absolutely.
Into lush rainforests.
This just makes me want, you know, Test Drive Limited back, which we are, but it makes me want it back sooner.
Opportunities for fun and challenges are.
Yeah, Far Harbor was probably the best DLC out of all of them. But it's still like, even though it was it was like a diet soda version of Point Lookout for Fallout 3, which was much better in my opinion.
Ever. From past, present.
Only this guy can make a car sound so boring.
Recognize the latest.
So wait, is this the Crew 3?
I think so, yeah.
Hamster
I know.
or anyone else know?
You're as thrilled as I am to get behind the wheel.
Like, obviously they didn't call it the Crew 3, but is this a brand new game is what I'm saying.
Hey, some of you have spent a lot of energy building the
It's still
perfect
US, yeah.
collection in the Crew 2.
Yeah, I get it, it's not part of the
In a
original
few
game.
weeks,
I mean, how are you
will
going to
be
get there?
able to import your vehicle
Oh, it is
collection
London?
into
Is a new game?
the
Okay.
Crew Motorfest for free. Thanks.
I'm surprised these games do well,
So
though.
stay tuned
I
for more
am.
news about
Like,
the collection imports and our complete festival
because I
program
played the first one, and I really didn't like it. The cars felt like boats when you drove them. Like, it just had like all this weight, and it just shifted. Like I just couldn't get the cars to like drive straight. It did not play like a fun arcade racer. The second one was an improvement, but it still felt to me like a phoned-in sequel. You know, taking place in, again, the United States. It's like you should have just chose a different country. You know, and I guess this one looks like it's smaller in scale, which could be better. The cool thing is just taking apart the cars piece by piece. Although this looks to me like they were taking a page out of Forza Horizon. So we'll see. Yeah, the first one was bad. It was really bad, and I didn't play the sequel because of that. Remember that like serious story that they had, where like it was like CG cutscenes and like what happened, like your brother died or was like murdered or some bullshit like that, and then you got like recruited into like what the government. It's like they wanted to be like Fast and the Furious, but it wasn't self-aware, you know? Okay, so this is the full-blown third game. Yeah, I just wanted to know if it was an expansion or if it's actually a full released game, and it is. It's a full release game, so. Cool. I don't know if I'll play it, though, you know? It's like The Crew. Yeah, I don't know if I'll play it. I'm just waiting for Test Drive Limited Solar Crown. But I like the Hawaii location. Maybe if they have a beta like they did for their previous games, I'll give it a shot. Oh, that's soon, huh? September's packed, man. You got like 6 games releasing in September. Let me take a look at the release schedule. Everyone's releasing in September and October as well. October's pretty busy. What do we have for September? Starfield, RoboCop, Liza P, Mortal Kombat 1. Everyone's releasing in September. Pre-rendered animations. Exactly what we want to see. Yeah, I was gonna say, this is the American Revolution. It's Connor. Oh my god. It's Assassin's Creed VR. It doesn't play like that though, does it? Well, I wish that they showed us gameplay. Looks like you can play as Connor, Ezio, or what's her name from Odyssey? The cuts are weird.
I hope you enjoyed that first look.
It just like immediately cuts to someone coming up on stage. It's like they didn't, like they're trying to catch up on time. I don't know.
Assassin's Creed Nexus will push the boundaries of VR and let you become the assassin. You will feel what it means to parkour, fight, and be stealthy.
I'm personally, yeah, Cassandra, thank you. I'm personally more interested in AR than VR. I think augmented reality is much more interesting. Less intrusive, and it's just, in my opinion, a much more exciting technology. I could imagine, like, I can't imagine the average person, you know, getting home from work or school and putting on a VR headset and doing this for like hours at a time. You know, I can't imagine anyone doing that. But I can imagine someone getting home, sitting on the couch, putting on their pair of glasses, and like it's like raining in the game that they're playing. I just hit the mic. I apologize. It's like raining in the game they're playing, and then the AR like makes the rain effects like happen in your living room or something. I could imagine something like that, where it's just like an enhancement of what you're seeing on screen. Maybe there's fire, you know, you're like in a burning building, and all around you you see fire, but you're not, you know, you're just sitting down watching something on television. That to me is a much more exciting prospect than me escape and wave my arms around.
That inheritance of knowledge helps to guide and shape our future. Now it's your turn.
Is this Mirage?
To build on those foundations and rise to even greater heights. To step out of the shadows and into a vast world.
Oh no, this is the this is the mobile game, right? Is this the mobile game, or is this its own thing? Codename Jade. I remember hearing about this last year. It's the mobile game? Okay. Which again is very impressive that they're fitting an entire Assassin's Creed game on your phone. Yeah, I do. They showed a Chinese game, which was that, I guess, and then also a Japanese one, which is going to be a full-blown RPG, like Odyssey.
Designed as an homage to the first titles of the series that many of us fell in love with. Coming October 12th, Assassin's Creed Mirage takes the franchise back to its roots. Sarah, our narrative director for the game, will come on stage to tell you more about Basim and his journey. But before that, let's watch our story trailer.
I mean, to me, it's like, I've seen everything I need to see about Mirage. I think people like myself, who are like longtime, you know, fans and players of the franchise, are probably more excited about this than anything. Any other game in the Assassin's Creed franchise. Just to go back to this formula. And to not play a game that takes 60 to 70 hours just to beat. That's going to be nice. Yeah, that's the only thing. That's a good point, Hamster. You're playing those large RPGs, like that Assassin's Creed Codename Jade, and it's like on your little phone screen. So like you have to like, you know, use touch controls and stuff. I don't care for mobile games anyway, but that's a little, you know, screen to do all that stuff on.
The feathers forge our paths, remind us of who we are, who we can be.
The Order has held dominion over men and their empires for centuries. Strike quickly and end this.
Swallow your questions. Serve without complaint.
Wonder if AC Nexus is gonna have a PC VR version, because Quest 2 is of course limited graphics range. Oh yeah, because the Quest is its own thing, right? You don't need a computer; it just all runs in the headset. That to me is probably the most exciting headset, just because it's completely self-sustainable. You know, you don't need anything with it, no tethers. But yeah, it is limited.
We are messengers of justice. And not
the only single-player games to put that much in is RPGs, but AC should never be an RPG. Yeah, I mean, I fully believe that the only reason that they changed it to an RPG is because they wanted to keep the franchise going. You know, they didn't want to take a break or have it die, so they're like, we got to reinvigorate it somehow. Let's just build a massive game. And like, it's such a far cry, no pun intended, but it's true. It's such a far cry from what it normally, or what it originally was. You know, the Assassin's Creed games that I grew up playing, you know, the first one, the Ezio trilogy, all that, they're just completely different games. It's not even comparable.
What does it mean to be free? What must be sacrificed in the quest for freedom and justice the hidden ones fiercely pursue?
Yeah, she's London. That was what's her name? She's in a lot of stuff. She's a famous actress.
As he grows from street thief to master assassin,
she's going to be your kind of commander, I guess, giving you missions and stuff like that.
But his nightmarish visions keep haunting him, leading to more questions.
So Basim, if you didn't play Assassin's Creed Odyssey or Valhalla, excuse me, is basically like a reincarnated. He's a reincarnated god.
Unrest is growing.
Loki, that's who he is. It got really weird in Valhalla. If you didn't play Valhalla, it's like they're in like the Matrix. Like seriously, it's like the Vikings found like some type of advanced technology, and they got like into the Matrix, like jacked in, and they've been living as different people for like, you know, millennia. It's just got like very bizarre. And that was the most interesting part of Valhalla, but the problem is it took you like 50 to 60 hours to actually get that part of the story.
As he reports back to Roshan in Harbiya's Assassin Bureau. Enjoy.
So it's interesting that they're showing Basim again. The following is in-game 4K, but has been edited. Yeah, they're really pushing this. It's like, people like me were already sold just hearing that it wasn't an RPG, so I don't think they need to push it that hard. It's going to be interesting to see how this game does in comparison, though, to the RPG-centric games. I'm hopeful that it does do well.
There you are.
But there's just too many of these games at this point. Like, you've done all you can do with the franchise.
Time to vanish.
So the only thing you can really do at this point is just tell new stories. Yeah, this looks like Assassin's Creed 2, which is awesome.
Stand and fight, you worm! You're dead! Getting away!
Ah, the classic hidden assassin's, whatever you want to call it.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. I am glad you are safe.
Alhamdulillah. A first of many achievements to come, Basim.
We should only hope. There's still much work to do. While our focus was on Al Ghul, Fulov quietly scouted the city for where we could erect more bureaus.
I have found dwellings in 3 districts that are most unassuming. Abid and Rebecca have arrived from Alamut and set off to Al Abyssiya and Karh. I will make my way to Sharqiya shortly.
And I will join Rebecca in Karh, where corruption is as common as the arid air. See Abu Ja'far about some things he's been working on. Then come find us.
Have a look, Basim. I may have something that is of interest to you.
The city itself, based off what we just seen there and everything that we have seen, it looks like a mixture of sort of like Egypt from Assassin's Creed Origins, and also the very first game, which was Masyaf. No, Masyaf was the name of the main hub city where the assassins were based. What was the actual full open world? Anyway, that's what it looks like to me, like a mixture of both of those. It's just funny to me that they're using what became a tired formula simply because they release these games on a yearly basis. They're now trying to build off the nostalgia of that.
Let us reconsider the approach.
The first person cutscenes are god tier, but man, the third person isn't the same. For which one? This? We didn't see any first person cutscenes, did we? Or you talk about the VR stuff.
Act as usual.
That guard who likes me said she and Ali's followers are trying to overthrow the prince.
What madness! They will surely fail.
Yeah, I feel like I'm playing an Assassin's Creed 1 remake or something. That's what this looks like. Oh, the Ubisoft games in general. Well, they're all high production values. They do a great job animating everything. Like, their games look great. They even play pretty well. The problem here is lack of identity. They just, every single one of their games is borrowed off of existing games within their library. And so what you have is basically all these franchises that feel exactly the same from one another. You know, they made all the Tom Clancy, like the Ghost Recon games. It's basically the Assassin's Creed open world formula with a third person Ghost Recon shooter. The Avatar game that we saw, you know, it looks like basically Far Cry, surface level. It looks like Far Cry in Pandora. You know, all the tower stuff that Far Cry 3 did that kind of revolutionized the game. It became part of the Assassin's Creed formula. Like, Ubisoft makes high profile games that are polished. You know, at least when you buy one of their games, you know it's going to run well, you know it's going to look pretty good. But yeah, it's just, you know, it rounds up feeling rather the same. I think that's their biggest issue, is that they just don't have enough creativity. It's all formulaic when it comes to the design of how they're made. Doesn't mean you can't have fun with them. It just means that, you know, it just feels very familiar. Even though these are different games, different franchises, they all just feel very familiar. This right here looks like the Ubisoft, or the Splinter Cell takedown from Splinter Cell Blacklist. That's what that looks like.
And no more need die this day.
By the way, what is the... I'm actually curious, what is their story reason for him having abilities like this? Are they just putting it in there just because they want to have fun? Or is there an actual reason why he has superpowers?
Thank you so much.
Come on.
This dude ran right into enemies. Remember the gentle push? Yeah, it looks fine. Again, I'm just happy that they're going back to this formula. I know it's not going to stick. They're still going to make the RPG-centric ones, but I'm hoping that this at least makes a an argument for why these games should still exist. Why this style of Assassin's Creed should still exist. This is the most Assassin's Creed-looking Assassin's Creed I've seen in a long time. It's
Hello, everyone.
Eves.
So first, I want to start by saying thank you to all gamers.
I wonder if he's going to give us a surprise. Remember when Ubisoft used to do that?
We are here today.
They always used to give us a surprise.
You are at the heart of everything we do. And to all Ubisoft teams around the world as well, I would like to say a big thank you.
Remember that email that leaked where he was basically telling people, yeah, the company's in dire straits, so you better get your ass in gear, and, you know, we don't know what's going to happen, so everyone needs to work extremely hard.
So I hope you are all excited to explore the amazing playground you have seen today.
I think the NPCs here just felt like NPCs, yeah. Yeah, it's just, it feels very gamey.
To partner with some of the biggest names in entertainment.
If it's a throwback to the classic 7th gen Assassin's Creeds, then I'll probably just like it for that reason alone, but even if it does play like an older game. Oh, the Star... I completely forgot about this. So this is their one more thing. So I'm curious to know if this is going to be a single-player game or a multiplayer-centric game. The Outlaws, the S at the end of Outlaws, makes me worried. I hope it's single-player.
Calm down. Do you want to see gameplay or not? All right. Let's get over the speech and let's get to the game.
Wow. He definitely wants to be here.
Takes place in a time of great civil unrest.
Well, I think any game going up against Red Dead Redemption 2, which is probably the most technically impressive game I played in a very, very long time.
This is a time of opportunity.
I mean, it's really hard to compete with that level of simulation.
Fight for survival every single day, relying on their skills and resourcefulness to get by. As they struggle to make ends meet.
It's single player, Lyndon? You're pretty sure? Alright. I hope so. I guess we'll find out in the gameplay.
But while seeking this freedom, Kay unexpectedly becomes one of the galaxy's most wanted. So to free herself from the bounty that follows her, Kay will need to pull off one of the greatest...
So it's a full-blown open world Star Wars game, which is just... It's kind of interesting to think that, oh yeah, there hasn't been an open world Star Wars game, but then you think about it and you're like, oh, that would be very fucking hard. You know? Especially if they're thinking like, oh, get in your ship and fly to different planets. Like, yeah, that's fucking... Like, how are you going to do all that? And stream that in? And you don't want a Star Wars game where you're only in one location. You know, that's boring.
Journey will take them across the galaxy through stunning, varied open world locations and the wilds of space. One of these locations is Tashara, a moon that features windswept savanna and amberine canyons. Carved into Tashara's striking landscape, the city of Miragana serves as a central hive of scum.
Man, I'm so happy that EA doesn't have complete control over the Star Wars license. That was the best thing that ever happened, is when they lost the exclusive rights to it.
Is measured in the value
Other people have great ideas as well, and they equally deserve to do something interesting. So I'm just happy that... Isn't Quantic Dream also making a Star Wars game? Like, I'm really happy that we're seeing different studios give their own personal take on it.
On behalf of Massive in Sweden.
Yeah, you said location, so there is... I think there's definitely going to be different areas.
Bucharest, Chengdu, Milan, Montpellier, Paris, Shanghai, Toronto. And our amazing...
There's like 10,000 people working on this game.
It's our privilege to present to you this first ever look.
It'll be interesting to see, yeah, Hamster, what Quantic Dream does with the storytelling. I appreciate them just for their commitment to what they do. And I do like their games. I still think Heavy Rain is probably their best game, though. You know, Detroit was fun. Had a lot of choices, but I liked Heavy Rain's narrative. And the game was just jaw-dropping at the time. Alright, let's just, let's see what this is. You grew up on point-and-click games, so I always appreciate the studios, yeah.
Good boy.
Straight to gameplay, nice. Look at this. Ooh.
That worked.
This looks like a... Is there a cover system? This guy looks like Uncharted, doesn't it? Interesting.
Nice one.
Yeah, it looks like Uncharted.
Hang on tight.
Oh, this looks good. Yeah, Star Wars 1313, remember that? I'm still salty over that. It looks inspired from Star Wars 1313, but definitely with the gameplay.
I was just leaving.
Ooh.
Okay, we'll figure this out.
God, that field of view is really tight. I hope you can change that.
Shield.
Okay.
Hey, Nick! Catch! This is getting bad. Let's try this out. Dink Ferric!
Man, these worlds are going to be massive.
I think that went pretty well, right?
You can go anywhere. Oh yeah. Hover bike. I like this. This looks really good.
These guys don't quit. Hang on. That was close. ND5, I got the package. Where are you?
Waiting for you in Jaunta's Hope. Were you seen?
I said I got it. What else matters?
Should I assume we won't be working for the Pikes anytime soon?
Well, they'll probably forgive me.
Comforting.
Different towns you can visit. Look at this.
There's Jaunta's Hope. We made it, Nix.
My biggest fear with something like this is repetition. It's just going to depend on how they kind of do the open world, but this looks really good.
Hey, Andy.
You're late, Kay. Doc is waiting.
What? Are you worried?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, the voice acting seems pretty good.
No, but you, Troy.
What?
Be careful. Donka's a broker, not a friend. She can't be trusted.
Who can out here? See you back at the ship.
I assume this game isn't coming out till like late 2024, if not like 2025, like it's still a ways away. So if it looks like this early, it could potentially be very, very pretty when it comes out. But it's also Ubisoft, so.
Back already. I told you she's fresh, but she's good.
Who's this?
Just a friend. Join us.
Job was more complicated than you said, Dunka.
You lived. Hey, these are toys. Very fast.
Prepare yourself for a downgrade. Hold 1 sec.
Wait. We haven't met. Don't really know many of you.
Stealing illegal contraband, running with syndicates. I could say you're a threat to the Empire. But I won't have to if you're smart.
Alright, sorry about that.
Thanks. But I'm smart enough to get myself out of trouble.
So you have dialogue options, and you can...
Anyone else?
Whoa, kid.
Ooh.
Let's just relax.
You won't make it off to Shara alive.
Maybe.
So I wonder if the choices really have consequences. Stuff like that.
All troopers, we have reports of a fugitive in Jaunta's Hope. Move.
There you go.
That Imperial announcement wouldn't be about you, would it?
Could be.
I told you not to trust her.
Not the first time we've outrun the Empire.
We need to leave.
Yeah, no kidding.
Do you get to fly the ship? You do. Kind of. Yeah, it does, like an Indiana Jones, you know, science fiction Star Wars style game. Nice.
Oh, are we good?
Nothing on the sensors yet.
Yeah, you get to fly the ship. That's really good.
Anybody on the sensors now?
TIE fighters on us.
Got one.
I feel inclined to remind you that we should shake the Empire quickly.
Thanks, I'm working on it.
I wonder where this game takes place in like the timelines for the movies and stuff like that.
ND, get us out of here.
Installing hyperdrive.
Oh, hyperdrive, here we go.
Let's jump.
That looks awesome. That makes me very happy. London is sold. This game looks crazy, like, ambitious, though. You know? It almost looks like... I can see why they have all these studios working on it, because... You start building this, like, how do you know when to stop? Like, that's insane.
So, where do we go next?
It's our choice.
Anywhere we want.
That looks insane. Completely different planet, completely different biome. Uh-oh. ATSD. That looks very, very, very good. It looks almost too good. Like, yeah, I was expecting like next year, like the end of next year. In fact, I would even think that this would get delayed. That is, that's insane. That's insane. Oh. They show people clapping. Yeah, that's, wow. That's pretty insane. I have to say it was a pretty good conference. I got most of everything I wanted to see. I really just wanted an update on the Splinter Cell remake. That's the only thing I was missing. Now, they just announced that, what, last year or whatever? So I understand, you know, it's going to take some time, and we probably won't see that until 2025 or 2026, probably 25. But I think it was a pretty good conference overall. Just make sure there's nothing else. Oh, it's just all the people clapping. Okay. Yeah, I think it was a pretty good conference overall. It did what it needed to do. Avatar coming out so soon, I was not expecting. The end of this year. You know, I'm really hoping that the game is everything that you know, just takes full advantage of that universe, and it has James Cameron's blessing. So we'll have to see how it goes. But yeah, I think it was a pretty good conference. The Crew Motorfest, yeah, it looks good. I would just want to, I don't know if I would get it personally. Maybe if I play a beta or a demo. We've seen a lot of games get demos this year in particular, which is just exciting to see. It's great to see so many games kind of give consumers, you know, early slices of gameplay and the hands-on, like try to get some, you know, early coverage with the game and stuff like that. So that's great to see. I think it was a good conference overall. I'm pretty happy with this. I think we're just gonna have to wait a little bit longer for Splinter Cell. That's it. But Star Wars looks fantastic. Avatar looks good. Assassin's Creed looks like it's, you know, back to Assassin's Creed. So I really don't have any complaints here, besides just the lack of Splinter Cell, which is, you know, understandable. Pretty good conference. All right, guys. Well, we have one more that I'm going to be streaming, which is the Capcom Showcase. I have a doctor's appointment at 2 o'clock, and the Capcom Showcase is at 3 o'clock for me. Now, I'm going to try to get to my doc's appointment early, and I'm hopeful that they will take me a bit earlier. And the nice thing is it's just down the street, like it's like 5 minutes away, so it's not even like a big distance at all. But I'm going to do everything I possibly can to make it for the Capcom Showcase. Now, if I can't, or maybe I might be just a few minutes late. I will update you guys on Twitter. So, thank you guys for joining me, London. See ya. Have a good day. And Hamster, we'll see you later, hopefully. And I guess I'll see you guys in a little bit here, hopefully for the Capcom Showcase. And then I got my birthday celebration stream. I'm going to do that on Thursday. You're going to be at the airport during the Capcom Showcase? All right. It's all archived on the channel. You guys can check it out when it goes, or after these streams end. So you can watch it at your own leisure. All right, guys. Have a good one. I'll see you in a couple of hours. And until then, see ya.